Welcome to Insights into Insurance with Tom Sorensen of Americana Insurance Group. All information provided is educational in nature and not intended to be acted upon without first consulting the appropriately licensed professional.
It's another Saturday morning. That means it's time for Insights into Insurance here on 1450 KATE. And with us this Saturday, Tom Sorensen's taking the day off, so we welcome in Jolene Honkomp with JH Financial. Good morning, Jolene.
Good morning. Glad to be here today.
Let's kick things off right away. We always get an email question throughout the week, and this one came in, and I'll just kind of read the email, Jolene, and you kind of explain what it's all about, maybe. I have a small company, 7 employees, including myself. I can't afford to pay for medical insurance for my employees, but would like to offer something to them. I would be most interested in group life. I need more life insurance and have health issues, and I'm not sure I can even get any coverage on my own. And if I could, I know I would have to pay some high premiums. Do I have any options?
Well, there's lots of options. The one thing I noticed out in the market, I don't think a lot of people think about employee benefits, whether they're an employer or an employee, but they are important. And there's a lot of different things that they can choose from, a lot of options, and you can offer those benefits, such as life or disability, at one rate for all employees. So it doesn't matter, what age they are, what their health is, if they're smokers, if they're non-smokers, and you can usually get the coverage with little or no underwriting, and that's called guarantee issue.
And that's something maybe when employees are looking for jobs, Jolene, they should also ask that employer, that future employer, about possibly, do you have any benefits? Because that ultimately would add into the money that you're going to receive from that future employer.
Oh, absolutely. It's all part of your total compensation package, along with your salary, your vacation time. It's really important.
A lot of people just look at that hourly rate to be at $10 or $15 an hour, and they think, wow, that's a pretty good rate, but if there's no benefits included with that, no insurance, that rate's going to drop down.
Correct.
Let's talk about why are employee benefits important?
Well, just like you mentioned, it is part of an overall compensation package, and it's important for an employer because what you offer helps you attract and retain good employees. As an employer, the one thing I know, it's hard to find good employees, and it's even harder to keep them. This is key, especially for small employers. No one likes to hire someone, train them in, get them all up to speed, and have them leave because they're getting more from their next employer. Another reason, which is even more important, and that's due to the cost of medical insurance. We all know the cost of medical insurance keeps going up, and most small employers can't afford to provide the benefit to their employees, and if they do, they usually have to do some type of cost share.
And when you mentioned cost share, Jolene, let's touch a little bit on the cost share, that you may have to pay a portion of that insurance benefit, and it could be a little bit benefit as well. You're not going to get full insurance, but at least you're not paying the full amount out of your own pocket.
Right. That's where the employer is going to pay a portion of it. And if it's a group plan, you might get better rates overall for the whole group. But they have to push some of that cost onto that employee because as a smaller company, they can't afford those high premiums. A lot of times when you want to be competitive for your employees, you can add other employee benefits to offset that. So the group benefits are much less expensive and can be offered, like I mentioned before, with little or no underwriting. So you can have someone with health issues that couldn't get life insurance, like above in the question from the listener, where they couldn't get it outside, but they can get it through the group because they're part of that group and it looks at the entire group. It doesn't look at medical on each one. So you can give them protection they can't get on their own. And the one thing I want to point out, you can have as small of a company as 2 employees and you can offer benefits.
And it's, you mentioned earlier on, Jolene, talking about trying to retain your employees and keep your employees. It's changed over the years. It used to be once you got a job, you stayed with that job until you retired. Nowadays, as you say, someone may walk across the street for a 50-cent raise, not realizing they had benefits or a cost-sharing program with their previous employer. Now they made that switch, 50 cents more an hour. now they're going to change again and then change again. I'm sure you've seen that throughout the business cycle.
Absolutely. Like I said before, a lot of times people don't even think about those employee benefits, and they are important.
And the cost of retaining an employee, because you have to train that employee, you have to keep them up to speed on all of your rules, your regulations, your handbooks. And that employee, once they come in your door, you need to teach them right, and you need to keep them because it's going to cost you big money in the long run.
It costs a lot for that turnover.
Let's talk about employee benefits that may be available for employers in today's market.
The companies that offer the benefits have become very creative, and this is due to a lot with the changes that have been in the medical market. So, for example, you can have 5 employees or less and get up to $50,000 or 1 times salary as guarantee issue. So all you need to do is date of birth, their name, their gender. You put that plan in, and it's pennies on the dollar for that coverage. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the companies that offer the employee benefits they may allow a certain amount of guarantee.
Correct. The more employees, the higher that amount goes up. And that's key, because you're covering a lot of people, no matter what their health issues are, and it doesn't even matter whether they're a smoker or they're a non-smoker. So they look at everyone, offer a low rate, so it's much more affordable.
We're visiting on this Saturday morning our Insights into Insurance by Americana Insurance. Jolene Honkomp with JH Financial, part of Americana Insurance. And let's talk, Jolene, before we have to take a break, the core benefits. What are some of the core benefits that you see?
The core benefits are going to be the life insurance product, so it's going to be life coverage for the employee. You can also get it for the dependents, so the kids and the spouse. And you can add supplemental life coverage where employees can purchase their own amount above what is offered by the employer. And that's going to be the least expensive, the easiest to add. The next is going to be your disability coverage. So you can get that short term, so it can start on the first day when the employee is missing, and usually that's for an accident. For an illness, you usually want to push that out a few days so that they're using some vacation time first, and it usually starts paying on the 7th day. And then you have your long-term disability. And those would be the core benefits. Those are the most common that are added. They can be employer paid. You can have that cost share between the employee and the employer, or you can add them totally voluntary. So you get the good rates in there, and then the employee can pick what they would like to do.
And as we talk about the group liability and disability insurance, both short-term and long-term, that employee needs to be careful when they're reading through and check the box, so to speak, yes, I want it, no, I don't. Making sure that if the company is purchasing a short-term disability, the last thing you want to do is check, no, I'm not interested, trying to quickly fill out that paperwork.
Right.
You always want to make sure that that box is checked, because I know I've talked to people in the past that went through it too fast, and they checked, no, I don't want short-term disability, I don't want the long-term disability. The employer was already paying for that. Then when they needed that short-term disability, they said, oh, I didn't realize I checked the wrong box. At that point, it's pretty much too late.
Right. If you don't get it right away, then usually you do have to go through medical underwriting. So it's going to be harder to get in the future if you can get it at all. And not many of us can live without a paycheck.
We live paycheck to paycheck.
Absolutely.
We're going to take a quick break here, Jolene, as you're listening to Insights into Insurance. We've got a lot more to talk about in regards to employees' benefits and insurance benefits for those employees that are maybe wondering about how they can get coverage. So we'll be back with Jolene Honkomp with JH Financials on our Insights into Insurance here on this Saturday morning on Kate.
Got that new home edition and you're keeping it covered.
Brad, I can help with coverages. Man-to-man coverage, zone coverage, combo coverage.
I don't know, Peyton. I was thinking the types of coverages that your nationwide agent offers.
Oh, like home, auto, business, life, farm, boat, your tour bus.
Products availability varies by state, agent, and other factors. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company, Columbus, Ohio.
For all your many sides, there's Nationwide. Call Americana Insurance Group at Albert Lea and Wells today.
And welcome back to Insights into Insurance by Americana Insurance here on 1450 KATE. Mike Whitus along with our guest today, Jolene Honkomp with JH Financial. Jolene, let's talk a little bit more about what are some of the more maybe flexible, maybe creative side of the benefits that we can talk about on this Saturday morning.
Well, like I said, the companies have gotten more creative, and a lot of these benefits now pick up where the medical insurance leaves off. We can offer vision and dental benefits. They have accident coverage that pays a benefit direct to the employee, and that's for the employee that's insured or their family if in the event of an accident. Cancer coverage that pays cash for diseases and cancer for cost of treatment, hospitalization, surgery, the radiation and chemo, but it also pays for screenings. So there's an annual payment for the cancer screenings. Critical illness does the same thing. It pays a lump sum cash benefit to the insured or family members if they're diagnosed with a covered critical illness, but it also pays an annual wellness benefit when screening exams are performed. Then you have hospital indemnity coverage, and that's to help with out-of-pocket hospitalization costs. So it's a safety net for the plans that have a large deductible. There's also legal benefits that gives you access to prepaid legal services. So it depends on the company and the choice of benefits, but you can really put together a nice package. There's another service where these companies go in, and if you pick group life, for example, most companies will give you free will preparation services for that employee and their family members. And you've heard me talk before about how important wills are, and that's one thing that we go through. And you can either start this by calling an 800 number, or you go online. Most people, unless they own a business or have other, farms where they need to see an attorney, most people will have a simple will, and they can put something together. You can do it online, print it out, get it notarized, and at least you have something in place.
And that's very important. We've talked about before putting puzzles together with Americana Insurance and with JH Financial, Jolene, that
right.
You have a bunch of pieces. You want to make sure that they're put together, and a lot of folks, the state's going to get your money if you don't have a will. They have a plan in place on how they're going to pay those bills off. You're not going to get what you think you're going to get. Maybe mom and dad have a house. You need to have, if they're still living, a living will, and
right.
This is one of the creative side of the benefits that you guys can offer as well.
Right.
How do you go about getting a plan in place? How do I start? First of all, so we want to call Americana Insurance, talk to Jolene with JH Financial, but how do you go about putting this plan in place, putting our puzzle together?
After I get that call, I will sit and work with you, look at the benefits you have, if you have any. Otherwise, put something in place for you, get all the rates together. But what I really do that I think sets us aside is I make sure I go in to that place of business and I do a presentation to all of the employees, whether it's 2 employees, 10 employees, 25, 500 employees. I will do a presentation just so that they understand the value of their benefit plan, everything that it offers, all of those free services, anything that is available to them. There's travel assistance, like I mentioned, the free will prep, and then I will conduct one-on-one meetings if they have choices that they get to choose from and they get to pick and choose. I like to meet with them individually so that they pick the best package to meet their needs.
You're putting the puzzle pieces together to create that collage, that beautiful puzzle, so that as an employee, you don't have to worry about it. You wouldn't have to worry about mom and dad. But there's too many companies out there that may just say, here's a piece here, here's a piece here, this is what you need to sign up for. And in reality, you find out you're missing 3-4 more pieces of that puzzle to put together. With JH Financial and Americana Insurance, as you say, Jolene, you sit one-on-one with the individual and with the group as far as the employer, and put the pieces together to make sure things are dotted your I's and cross your T's.
Right. As long as you're going to offer a plan, it's nice to have the employees value that plan and understand everything that they have available.
I appreciate the time, Jolene. That's a fast Saturday morning program.
It is.
That's Insights into Insurance here on the Saturday morning with Jolene Honkomp with JH Financial. You can always call Jolene's number.
Albert Lea office, 507-377-2000.
All right. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, Jolene, and we'll touch base soon.
Thank you.
Jolene Honkomp with JH Financial is part of Insights into Insurance here on 1450 KATE.
You've been listening to Insights into Insurance from Americana Insurance Group. All information provided is intended to be educational in nature. Before acting upon any information obtained during the Insights into Insurance radio show broadcast, consult an appropriately licensed professional.